Hello, it's Trevor Cutmore. So the next part of the series of the mindset is what I've got for you today. So last time I did the parts 1 to 3. So we covered get up and why to get up early, why that's important every morning, to read something positive, at least 10 pages every single day. That means that you're going to read a book at least once a month. That's 12 books a year. That alone will help change this and make you stronger to overcome and have a mindset of a champion, and very much to have a mindset of people who make a lot of money. The last one was to have an attitude of gratitude. And that's very important, to find things to be thankful for. There's a lot of people out there who just moan about just about everything. And actually, when you're with them, all they do is they pull you down and they actually give you a negative mindset, because all you hear is negativity. This doesn't work, or this has happened to me. And I try to get as far away from them as possible. I really do. Because in that attitude, I don't want to be around it. So no matter how things are, there's always something to be thankful for. So and if you watch the last one, I did say, look, I asked a friend one day, if I broke a leg, how could I be thankful about that? And he said, well, you could be thankful you didn't break both of them. And that is the truth. So look, the next 4, the first one is about and this is a list of 12 points that I've got on mindset, that I've done this talk many times, and it's very, very powerful. And it is really the mindset of a millionaire, in the way that it's helped me in my journey to grow my portfolio. It's helped me to become limitless, and so I'm not confined to what people have said about me in my life when I was growing up. Even when they say, who do you think you are? This property magnate, whatever. Well, I really don't mind what they say, and these 12 points have helped me. So point number 4, and I'm going to do 4 to 6. Point number 4 is really about helping people, and this is very important. I truly believe that when your hands are open to give, then your hands are open to receive. I believe in that principle 100%. I'd actually physically look for people to help, whether that's an old lady crossing the road with shopping bags, and it's an opportunity for me to just go and help her. That's great. Anything I can find, I would want to give back. So I have had the privilege of helping set up a school out in Kenya for street kids. I've done that over the last 20 years, and that has been a privilege. I've been out there 3 times, and to be able to give back, I sponsor a child in Kenya now as well, and I also give to cancer research, because that's dear to us. Marie came through that in a very powerful way, and I do look at not just money to help people. Money's, if you've got it, it's easy to give it, but very much of yourself. If you can give of yourself, whether on a regular basis to an organization, but it is very, very important to give back. One of the mindset reasons for me is humility. Once you start to become successful, it's very easy to start to believe, that, hey, look, I'm this great person, and etc. And for me, that's something been very, very important not to allow to happen. So by helping people, you actually come back and to ground level and look to help those in need, and look for anything, whether it's a young person, an old person, it doesn't matter. Just be helpful. Okay, it's a very, very important. And like I said, as you give, you shall receive. It comes back to you tenfold or even 100-fold. You'll be amazed that when you are looking for help, it's there. Don't be one of those people who just want to go and suck information. Go and help other people. Jim Rohn said, if you want to be successful, help others to achieve it. So if Jim Rohn says it, then please have no doubt that what I'm saying is the absolute truth, and it is another step towards mindset in a way that it can change your life. Okay, point 5 on my list of 12 is a very dear one to me, and this is a very difficult one for all of us, and it is to judge less. What do I mean by judge less? Look, we make judgments every single day on everything, whether our children are going to be safe going down to the shop, whether they're safe coming home from school on the bus, whether I'm going to be safe when I go out. Should I get a taxi? Should I get on a bus? Should I walk down this road? Whatever it is, we're making judgments all the time. But let's take it a little bit further. What about when we meet people? Now, we only get one first impression, and it's interesting because that first impression is something that you never get again. So it's quite interesting, when you meet people, how do you present yourself? That's very important. Well, I try to be very positive. I try to be very respectful when I meet people for the first time. I like to give people time. I think time shows that you respect people. However, when we judge others, we make an assumption, and we can make an assumption by their clothes, by their glasses, by their watch, which I haven't got on today, by their shoes. A friend of mine told me that we judge by glasses, watch and shoes. Okay, but we judge people. I think it's really important that we should judge less. So I believe it's Jeff Wilson in Slight Edge, he talks about this time where he was on an underground and on the tube, and he's sitting there just quietly, and a gentleman gets on, sits next to him, and this gentleman has two children, and they're running up and down the underground, and they're disturbing people because they're very loud, and one of the child knocks this old man's newspaper out of his hands. So at this, Jeff turns to this gentleman, turns to the man who's the father of the children, and says, "Excuse me, don't you think you ought to look after those children because they're behaving their behaviour is disgusting?" And the man turns to him and says, "I'm so sorry. We've just come back from the hospital and their mother died 2 hours ago." Now this gentleman said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. What can I do to help?" You see, we're quick to judge. We are. Absolutely. Me included. But if we can take a moment to think about the reason. Now, I'm not talking about excusing people for bad behaviour. I'm not. And actually it comes into the next point. But what I'm talking about is making assumptions, in making judgments. And if we can judge less and give an opportunity to understand the reason behind things which are going on, and perception is a very key thing. There is a film, I can't remember, I think it was called Deja Vu, something like that, and they showed, or Vantage Point, I can't remember, but there was something going on. It was a big explosion, and the film was showing it from different angles. Every single person saw a different angle. So look, that's a really important point. Some things you're going to see in one go, and you're not going to have an idea what's going on. But look, take it from me, if you can start to judge less on people and give them the benefit of the doubt, whether that's first impressions, don't look at their clothes. I've met so many very wealthy people that don't dress properly. Look, let's take Simon Cowell. He's one of the worst dressed, and he's always unshaven. He looks dishevelled, but he's a very wealthy man. And so, look, take it from me, mind, don't judge. Think about the person behind. And there's a beautiful story about a painter, all right? Not a very good artist, but a very, very wealthy man, all right? But he painted in his spare time, and he was a collector of art. And what he did is that he collected some of the best art pieces around the world. But one of his favourite paintings was one that he did of his son. Okay, it wasn't particularly good, but it was of his son. Now his son had gone off to fight in the war and was tragically killed. So eventually this very wealthy man, he dies, and the whole of his art collection is going to be sold off. So all these art collectors come from around the world, and they say, look, beautiful piece of art, all going to go in the auction. They're all ready, they're rubbing their hands, looking to get a deal with these beautiful pieces of art. And when the auctioneer comes up, he says, okay, the first part of the business is this picture of his son. And nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted it. It wasn't a particularly good piece of art, but it was precious to this man. And the gardener from that estate bid, and he won that painting. I don't know what he paid, $50, $100, nothing. So as soon as that piece was sold, the gravel came down, the whole auction was finished. And all the art buyers, they were saying, well, what's going on, what's going on? And the auctioneer said, it's simple. The instructions in the will was, whoever takes my son gets the entire collection. So judging less can make a difference to you. All right, take it. It's a very powerful one that we can put in our mind and be very powerful. Brings me on to the last part I'm going to talk about today, because although it's 12 parts, this is the last one, number 6 on the list. And this is no excuses ever. All right. Now it sounds fun. It sounds difficult. But look, you and I both know when we're working. So let me backtrack. Look, when my sons were growing up, especially my youngest son, I remember distinctly, he went to work, left home, went to work straight away. And when he went to work, he used to arrive at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I said, why are you doing that, son? He said, well, I start at 9. I said, well, precisely, you start at 9. You need to be there 20 or 30 minutes before, because if you're running late or something, you're going to be late. And when you finish at 5:30, make sure you're the last one to leave, close to 6 o'clock. It was just something that I promoted in him and my children, that you go early and you stay late. You don't look at the clock, you are growing. Now, he has done exceptionally well in his work, and so have my other children. My youngest one is behind me with a friend. She's 12. She's not working yet, but I hope she's coming into business. However, his attitude is superb. Every morning, he's out in Germany now working. Every morning he's in early, never looks at the time, finishes late. He progresses up. He really does. Now, you and I know people in all walks of life, whether they're coming to meet us, whether they're going into work every day. And I had it when I was a chef. I used to come in early, and even if I was late sometimes, I'd stay late. I would never be looking at the clock. But there are people who would come late every day with a different excuse. So the bus was late, there was a tornado, a plane flew too close, and so, the traffic was closed. Whatever, it was all rubbish, all absolute lies. And that's the danger about giving excuses, because once you get habitual excuses, you start to lie. And lying is just the cancer of business. It really is. So, look, with those people, I can tell you, the ones who came late and habitually lying, do you know what they do when it's time to go home? Half an hour before, oh, come on, I want to go. They're the first ones to complain. And I really don't like that attitude. So again, this is a very powerful mind thing again. If you take that out and you're the servant and you go in early, you finish late, and you learn your craft and become an expert, the people above you see that. They see that quality, and guess what? They want to build with you. So that's one way that no excuses ever. The other way is, look, it's so funny how so many people have a problem in saying sorry. So rather than make excuses, just say, look, I'm sorry. Would you please forgive me? Do you know what? It cancels out a lot of rubbish. So many people don't want to hear excuses. They'd rather you just apologise and move on for whatever mistake it is. So, if you're late, look, I'm really sorry for being late. I should not be late. It's my responsibility to be here on time. Please forgive me, and tomorrow I'll be here early, and I'll stay late today. Isn't that a much better attitude to have than trying to come up with these stupid things? The alarm clock didn't work. The bus was... Now, occasionally, yes, it might happen, but it's still your responsibility to whatever you do in life. So, in property, I know people who have done some property business, and straight away, when they borrowed money to do a project, and within the first part of that project, they've taken the joint venture money and they've lost it. Why? They've lost it because they paid it to a builder who took that money and became bankrupt the next day. Now, it wasn't their fault. They were completely innocent. And they said, Trevor, what do I do? And I said, look, it's simple. You just go to the investor and you tell them. You absolutely tell them. They did their due diligence with the builder. I mean, they did everything right. And yet it wasn't their fault. This builder ran off with a load of money, several £1,000s. So they had to go back, and they were honest and then transparent. Is that not a better way to be than trying to twist around, lie, cheat, and trying to make up these different excuses or to hide it? Listen, let me tell you, no excuses ever is a very, very good way to go. It's great for us in life. It's a great example in business. It's great for our children, and it will be great for you. So that are the the 3 steps that I've been covering today. Help people, judge less, and no excuses ever. Listen, I really hope that you enjoyed that. I've got 6 more pieces to go. So next week on the Monday, I'm going to release another one. Leslie Tao talking about a different side of service accommodation to what I did with Andy Churchill. So if you're doing that, I think you're going to absolutely love it. It's going to be really, really powerful. But what I would really love is your comments. All right, I will reply. All right, please write your comments. If you want to subscribe, that'd be great. And talk to me about what you would like me to discuss, interview people, or really just to teach on. That would be an absolute privilege. Listen, I wish you every success in your journey in property or any business that you're doing. And I really hope that you're successful, and I hope that these talks help you along your way. My name's Trevor Cutmore, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.